Hey, hi guys, it's Mark from the 68 in France, and today finally had the time to come back to an English video. If you ask yourself why did I not make a better subtitle in the French version so all of you can check the video out and read all the stuff in English underneath, it's because the funny thing is that I make a YouTube channel to make videos, to speak, to hear stuff from other channels, because I don't like to read and scribe. Not just only because I'm not able to do it, it's a fact, I'm not able to do it. And if I'm not able to do it, it's because I have no interest. I don't like it, so I don't try it. So easy the life goes. And if you ask yourself, is this possible to not write and scribe and continue to be, just look at nature. Nothing in the nature can read or scribe, but all nature survive. And maybe nature will also cut the humans out because we are too dumb to take care about our planet. So back to what brings you and me fun and why you are there. RC sports. This is just not a video about the Savage FLUX XL I have here, the V2. This is I'm gonna try to catch up in English all what you missed, and you can then in the comments tell me below about which point do you want a special video. I do not have any more time, even in French, to do all videos I need. Then I try to catch up the most of them in German also, and English comes at last because you have many English speaking channels. Big channels also. We have tried here the HPI Sledge, which I want to make for this one a special separately video. I really like it. We have drive more this last time the E-Revo. I'm also happy with it. I have here a Seine Colossus, and when I mean Colossus, not the XT version, not the Reaper, but a Seine Reaper downsized again to a Seine Colossus. The Colossus was a GSTE with a better servo, a special body on the top, and I really liked that truck back in the time, and I have it back. And also the Obao Hyper MT Sport Plus. These are three monster truck in the same size that the fourth one when it's here, 370 to 390 wheelbase approximately, 6S power, three differentials when you put the option in there. Put the option differential, cost you the sleeper. I would like to have both. Three differentials and a cast drive, and three differential and a dual pad sleeper clutch. That's what I really prefer. These two has for me the best setup and transmission. All three can handle grit, have beefy transmission, especially the gears on the diffs themselves. In this domain you also have other trucks I do not have here. The Losi 3XL is not here because he has no beefy tools and the differentials. He has three differentials, but he has only stock buggy differential. That's a bad point in a monster truck with heavy tires and a heavy self-load. So I tried the 3XL. It was really nice to drive. It's cool to drive. It's a fun truck, but it's not strong enough for me at the drivetrain. And regarding the fact that Losi, who is now Horizon Hobby, who is also Arma, has done absolutely nothing to change this. The Losi 3XL needs better differentials, not better, but beefier tools, and just telescopical drive shafts. And the 3XL would be a real beast and a killer in this category for monster truck. We have the T-Magic E6, but this is too short. 350 for me is the other side from the category with the Savage X, the Traxxas Wide Max, the MT8 and all that stuff with shorter wheelbase. And I make a great difference for me between a monster truck with a high center of gravity, a chassis with higher in the middle, and a main down gear. You have here a transmission case in the middle of the truck for put the gearing down. All four of them has that, and all three. This one is a little bit a mix. You have a big main gear, 60 or something tools on a small motor pinion. It's not best wise to do it, but they do it tough, so it's okay. The T-Magic has also that. It's really nice. I miss the T-Magic also. I really hoped when they do the last version that they will stretch it to this wheelbase. So another one who's not here because it's no more on the market, it's the Arma Nero Big Rock. I really liked it. It was so beefy as this truck. We had a better transmission, 3 differential. You even can lock all 3 differentials. The suspension wise was not at a point, but it was the first time Arma does such a truck, and we really hope to see a V2 coming to the world with better suspension. It was a really heavy truck, but it was also beefy. So one truck that disappears is the rival MT, the old version, the long from Thunder Tiger. Was also that same size, but was also too weak at transmission and suspension stuff. That's also why I do not have it here. I really just keep the trucks I like. The short Sen, the Oba MT with the sedative, the E-Revo with some other servos and other tires. That's also main point on all this truck. You have in many time to change the tires stock out from the box to get some good tires or better tires who make the job like you want. In all case, you need reinforced body because no one take care of that. We always, since 20 years, we have that cheap Lexan. It's way too thin. I don't understand why the brands not go just for 2mm Lexans. Body will be such a nice upgrade. So we have nice color. We also can make ourselves a paint job on a real tough body. So Traxxas has here the best deal with the inlane cage. That's really nice. The others had the good idea to put a handlebar in the middle so we can do something. The body not going to be squeezed down to the chassis when we overroll, but it's not enough. We also have steel body pins and all that 3 monster trucks. These all 3 monster trucks has all the same system, all the same problem. The body posts are too weak. They break, they bend. You really fast put the body clip through the body, and we want to see some upgrades here with bigger plates underneath, like we see at the Arma 1/5 scale. Just bigger plates and a washer underneath, and all put together easy if they continue with body clips, because what I really prefer is something like that. For mount the body, this is just awesome. And after making the test drive from this truck, first, before I'm going to drive, I'm gonna make some modification because I know this truck. It's since 20 years the same truck. We get some upgrades at differential and gearing and dog bones, and that's hold really well. That's why we like it. And the better point from this truck is this super smooth and nice suspension. Clearly, if you jump, you're gonna make it harder, but I really like it so soft. I do the same here. The truck is super soft. Sen has not such a good suspension travel than the Savage. The Oba MT Sport Plus also not have the same suspension travel. The MT2 has a good suspension travel, but it's way bigger. It's a 1/7 scale like the Reaper. That's also why it's not here in this video. And the king of suspension travel, Revo, because of the cantilevers, it's really a killer suspension. Remember, all of that trucks has good and bad points. That's no matter for me. I have fun with each of them, and each of them was modified, and price-wise, it's also something, there is no cheaper RC. To do the same job, all 4 cars cost me about the same. Here in Europe, I spend about 80 to 900 euros to have all those 4 trucks the way I want. There's no strange thing in that. That's unfortunately normal. This new V2, or not new, but new outfitted Traxxas, Traxxas. No, don't shoot, 6-shooter, put that chair down, don't shoot the chair. So, just a moment, I'm just gonna check if the video is running, because I have some issue. I test here also something new. I have a new camera on there. For the moment I have no feedback from the screen, like at beginning from my channel. I just speak in front of a black stuff and hope that after that all is in the you get all the videos. So I also take a microphone, so you have a better sound, and so also I don't have to speak too loud, that you have a good sound. They change the tires. I never really liked the design from the GT2 tires, but they were really good. They ballooned well without popping off or without destroy themselves, so it was okay. Now they put some type of mini pins on it. I'm not such a freak from that, because I like on monster truck tires, all-round tires, and like all old school freak, I love the most tractor style tires, because you have a big endurance, you have heavy rubber on that, really can take good the balloonings, and it looks great. And you don't have too much side grip, so the truck not overroll really fast. So they go for the mini pins, and even if I'm not super happy with that, it's a good choice anyway. You see here on the Revo I have my good old Proline blockades, because they do the same job. I also like from HPI the dirty bonds. Dirty bonds are a little bit more lightweight, it's more plastic like rubber, but they really good at just at grass and a field, and even in the sand. It's just a nice tire, but it's a little bit too small, so this one is in between these dirty bonds and this Proline blockade there. The rubber feels tough, especially on the side here. You have a thick sidewall, a little bit thinner here. I heard some people say, take care, they explode, and they explode. Why? Because they do one mistake by HPI. They just fill up the differential, maybe with thin grease. All 3 differential are really not heavy filled. That means you hit the throttle, track goes up, and if you are turning that while one only tire goes up, take all the speed from the 3 other and balloons too fast, too much, and get the destruction. So I'm not gonna do it before I have tested. I'm gonna run it, but not with that oils. I'm gonna pull out the front diff out, put maybe some 150 CST oil in the front, 300 to 500 CST in the middle, because the truck has the weight in the middle. Unlike the Empty Sport, which I put the weight in the front, so I not need too much thick center diff oil, but here I will do it. I go maybe for 500. I don't also gonna be too thick in the front, because like the Empty Sport, this truck has not a great steering. In this domain, the Sen Colossus and the Revo are the best. Even the Serpent MT, is not there because it's, for me, the Serpent MT is more like a truggy. It's more in the case from, we're gonna tell it's the opposite. When you get here, we have 3 monster truck style with pickup body, and you have here the Revo and the Team Magic E6, which are more looking like truggies. And the MTE is the opposite side. You have here the Sledge, the Kraton, the Kronos, were bigger made truggies. That's something we used to say muggies back in the time for 20 years. A muggy is a truggy with monster truck tire. So the Serpent MT is the opposite from that. You have a truggy sized as a monster with a typical monster body. What I like at the MTE is are the beefy bumpers. It has really the best bumpers from this category, but I have it not here in this comparison because it has no gear reduction in the middle. That's the way, that's the word I was searching before. No main gear, no gear reduction in the middle, and no higher chassis in the center. It's a flat chassis, like I would say the Sledge, Kraton, Kronos. I really like to have a center gearbox with a reduction because that's something really bring down the stress from transmission to motor, from motor to transmission, and also allows you to use a normal motor with good performance without too much heat. That's anytime the issue from muggies. When you take a Kronos, a Sledge, or a Kraton, you have the problem, or the sort of an MTE, that's the most of the time it's gear too small, so you have excessive speed, but the motor is really struggling because a buggy is about 3.4 to 4 kilograms with the same system which we drive in truggies with 4.5 kilograms. You cannot be so fast with a truggy as a buggy because you weight more. You can be so fast, but you lose runtime. And size it up in a monster truck or in a beefy muggy, that's what the Kraton, Kronos, and Sledge are, 6 kilogram monsters. The same system cannot pull out the same performance. Or you go so fast as a buggy, but run not the half of the runtime, or you are slower on the way, forget the same runtime. You cannot have both when you keep a 6S system in heavy trucks. We have here a 5.7 MT weight. That means 6.3 to 6.5 kilograms with 6S system in there. When you put bigger tires on there, 3.8 tires, maybe 400 to 500 grams. If you go to Jetco tires, American brand, American glued, awesome tires, but heavy. This is 450 grams. That means you pull 600 grams more on your truck. That means you are at 7 and a little bit more kilograms. That's the weight from an normal fire team, from a 1/7 Seine Reaper, Hobar MT2, and all that stuff. And when you have that weight, you have to think on your electronic. What happened to the electronic? You have to gear it down, you have to drive it a little bit slower, or you have to pull up to ADAS if you want to get still the same performance. But if you are beef all that up, also think that all that weight more is a problem for transmission and suspension and the A-arms and all that stuff when you hit something. So before I get this one, the new XL, the green one with the green body. I love the body. Underneath, I was wondering if this is really a HPI, but it really seems to be Rowan King motor stuff with just the HPI sticker on it. We get back to posit drive screws. We have some strange weird plastics, and However, I do my modification like I anytime does on my trucks. I was happy with the truck. But after that, I see this one coming. This one has finally a new gearbox with a center diff inside, and we still have the sleeper. That's great. And this is why it's here. I really love to drive my Savages. And when I see the picture, I also recognize this. This is again HPI brand. We have what we get at the last Savage HP. We have hex screws, and again we still have this strange plastic at the A-arms, but that's a good point. And you see, I don't know if you see it on the camera, but here we have really dark plastics, dark black plastics. Here it's a little bit more gray, and it's feel way more flex that back in the time we have at the HPI trucks. And this is something I experiment with the green one, with the XL V1 I get, is that I make some heavy crashes, which I was really sure to destroy A-arms, because back in the time it's what happens to us. And the A-arms hold well because they are more flexible, so that's nice. I was wondering, at this green one I have two dog bones really fast bent, and as I put it out from the truck, I just put it here on my workshop bench, and with one hit of a hammer it was straight, because the steel was so soft. And this was not the case from the old HP. So I pull out from my stock here, I had from the old Savage 4 dog bones here. I pulled these dog bones out and tried to bend it. I was not able. I take two of this, I forget the name from this. I take two from these holes and try to bend the CVD or the dog bones. I was not able to do that. Then I take the dog bones from the green HPI Savage XL and bent it like it was nothing there. It's really a big difference between this green one and the old HP. So I hope here with this one that I get back the original HPI stuff. We have differential main gears with big tools. It's not machined, it's the cold pressed sintered steel. It's not the best, but regarding the fact that we have now a center diff, this will hold on really well. Remember, if you drive anytime on sand or sleepy surface, you don't really need a center differential. I can understand that all that people will tell I don't need that. If I could drive it in the desert, I would not need a center differential, but I drive most of the time on grass, and on grass I really need a center differential. You can put hard oil in there if you don't want to have too much effect from the differentials. That's what's cool. We have now 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 20 million thick oil to stuck in your differentials, and that's nice. Remember, if you do that, to always use red Loctite to pull the screw in the diff housing, because it's also just sintered steel. And back in the time, when we put thick oil in our differential, we have many times the issue that we rip just the screw out from this differential body. Also, when we hit on the side, dog bone gonna hit in the drive cup and gonna squeeze the inline, the in life of the differential. That's a normal breakdown when you go heavy on the truck. This is nothing to do with a bad truck. When it happens when you hit hard, we have some truck on the market like the Losi 3XL. If you do that, even just a slightly bit, you will destroy the differential, because they are, in this case, from the Losi 3XL, we have bad setup with differential, suspension travel and CVD length. And keep in mind, this error is something Losi does since 20 years. They still not have do anything to change it. So many people also claim that's the old Savage. That's nothing new, just the center differential in there. taken maybe from the Savage 5 SC FLUX. I also expected a little bit more from HPI because we still have the same issues here with the rod ends. Still weak. We have shock shaft 3 mm, really soft. We're still gonna bend it. I really hoped to see something here more like 4 mm with 4 mm also thread and beefier rod ends. We still have here the shock retainer flying out, really super easy, and it's anytime the good old solution to hold this thing in place. The good old trick with the little tie wrap here. All you have to do is to go through a hole and through the spring with your tie wrap. You don't need to cut it out to put it apart. You just have to turn it because the spring has an end. So if you go to the end, the spring just screws it out from the tie wrap and you can reuse it. We still have this nice dual spring suspension with anytime the same problem. And this problem is that this little plastic part can be stuck on the shock when you drive in sand or mud, and you have no more effect from this dual spring system. That's why I prefer progressive springs. The cool thing with that is that you have 5 or more different type from short spring and also 5 or more different long springs, so you can really set up the truck like you want for your use, for your setup, for your track, for your jumps, like you want. But I'll say we have the issue with that little part here stuck here. It's a small deal. It's not much, just thing to between when you change your battery to just fast clean it, pull it down, put all the dirt away so it continue to works. We have still old bumpers who opens themselves and gonna heat here the bumper and all this stuff. Back in the time we use a big tie wrap, but we are in the 21st century and now we have 3D printers and you can just print so stuff to hold this thing in place. We also have something back here we don't have at the green Savage XL FLUX, and this is the small retainer here from the upper pins. So I'm happy to see that. The new main gear is more at the right side from the main gear, so we have left the place for the motor without having the motor going through the chassis like it was back in the time. That allows you to use smaller pinion. We go down here to 62 pinion. That's a way better choice than back in the time. We have only a 22 pinion stock out from the box. What's crazy. We have a new motor mount. It's for me way better than the old one. It's slightly the same, but that wise you better catch up the motor because the old system has some spacer in there. So when you tighten up, you tighten the spacer down, but the motor can still move in there. You have to put the spacer out sometimes and just put a half a millimeter away from the spacer to have a nice clinch on the motor. The new battery tray are a little bit funny because it's just more decoration. It's look nice that wise, and you really think, oh, that's like on the Arma Nero. I can put here such a big battery in there, but nope. In there you have a smaller. It's still 160 long, 50 high, but you can go to 50 bright because you not will be able to close here the system. For me, this is too much. All the mud and all the gravel and all the stuff will stock in there. It's clearly protect the battery, okay. But if I put my battery in there with just a plastic part up the battery to protect it, even if I use a hard case, I'm gonna put here just a Lexan sheet up there, 2mm, or PVC sheet or something. Even I even can put a steel plate on there, or a carbon fiber plate. Looks nice, to protect my battery, and will be way smaller and faster and lighter than that. However, it looks great. I still love it. ESC move from the rear to the front, down in position. The servo is in a better place, and I was really shocked, and this is why I unplugged it here. I'm on the way to pull this servo out. Back in the time we get 50 kilogram servo. That was way too weak for such a heavy car. Sen has the same issue, just not in the Colossus. In the Colossus we have a 36 kilogram servo. Just a moment, I'm gonna see if we are still filming here. Yeah, we are nice. But now we only also just have a 50 slow servo in there. The Oberhamper MT has an 80 kilogram servo, but a little bit faster. It's a nice and it's a good servo. I never change it. It's really good. And Traxxas has the baddest servo on this size of car. 2 plastic tooth, 9 kilogram servo. Really slow, really weak. Bad job. And this was before I discovered what is in there. I was thinking, oh, they put the old 50 kilo servo in there. And as I get to the manual, I was searching for the servo. I find here the reference and I go back in my manual to find out here that this servo is a 10 kilo servo, because that's not on the website and I don't see it anywhere else. Someone tell about this servo. And I was wondering why, and no more wonder why, because it's a shame. So even if it's a good 10 kilogram servo, this is not going to be okay in such a heavy truck. Maybe with the stock tire, with the loose differential, but when I put harder oil in the front differential, I'm going to pull more stress at the servo, and such a weak servo gonna die. You're gonna overheat and you're gonna die from turning left, turning right, with all the stress. With heavy oil in the front differential, when you are turning and hit the throttle, you pull this direction straight, and the servo has to keep the wheels on a side while the force for going forwards gonna try to make him straight. And that's exactly the point where our servo dies. So that's bad. So I'm gonna put this out. They claim it's a waterproof truck, but like any time, but okay, this time they even not try to make a waterproof receiver box. It's completely open. It's just a cover in there, and you see when you put the cover away, the servo is there. There's the receiver. You see through the chassis, so that means the water make the same way. And I think, okay, like Spectrum, they do a waterproof receiver. So I look at this receiver and there's no waterproof sign at this receiver. Maybe it is or not. I don't gonna try it. I'm gonna put here the good old Tamiya trick, a rubber balloon around this and a tie wrap. So I will have no fear to go through water, because this is not okay. The steering can break. That's a good old stuff. We had that back in a time that we break sometimes the steering. So I'm gonna put here an alloy steering, maybe hot racing or something. What's cool is that this good old suspension system is anytime okay. You have only one upper arm who fits all 4 corners. You have one hubs who fits all 4 corners. You have one C-hub who fits all 4 corners. You have 2 different type of suspension arm. Front, left, and rear, right. And front, right, and left, rear. So you need only 2 suspension arms to repair the truck, one upper and one hub, and one C-hub. Same dog bone everywhere, and same also tie rod. The issue in the rear, what we not have in the front, is because in the front we have the steering. So if you hit something, the steering will catch it. So you have a servo saver. In the rear, it's not that wise, and you're gonna put here many stress at this poor little M3. So sometimes you break here, sometimes you break here. Same deal at the Sen. Sen has the same system, same stress. They put a little bit of reinforcement here, it's a little bit better. They're also a little bit tougher here. Obao does the same failure, but they put now a part more to lock the rear hub to have less stress at this part. Traxxas has also the same system. I prefer to have a normal hub in the rear. So in many cases I take just the GPM or back in the time I used the FLM rear hubs, simply rear hubs to suppress this. So I have no more this part, and it's way better. I would say it's Obao does something to make it tougher. At the Sen you will have sometimes some breakdown here, but it's anytime the same. We break down when you really go hard with the trucks. Many people at this day claim when they break also, oh, I break it, I break that. But remember, when you look at a real monster truck run, when they do something wrong, they also break. What's not normal is to break something on a light heat or something has fast wear and a point we not expect. But, and this is a major point I want to go back, we all want to have more from HPI for the money. We want to see some updates at the shock, at the steering, at the rear hubs. But otherwise, when you look all the new trucks, eRevo 2, Traxxas Sledge, Kraton V5 or EXP, Kronos, Serpent MT and all that stuff, are they really so much better? I truly think they are not so much better. So maybe that's why HPI changed nothing at the truck. But I really hope they will do. I really hope that Losi will pull out the finger and do some upgrade at the 3XL. I hope that Horizon Hobby, the problem is that Horizon Hobby own Arma and Losi, so they do not more make truck at the same level, because they gonna be a concurrent to each other in the same brand. So that's not cool, because I want to see come back an Arma Nero Big Rock, a new 3XL, E6 with longer wheelbase. We have now the Savage, the Revo, the MT2. I want to see back coming a short Sen in 1/8 scale. So we have a really big choice again in 1/8 scale monster truck. I want to see the Serpent MTE with a gearbox in the middle, because all those cars with some little adjustment are really killers. They really can take hard hit, jump nice, and go to beefy off-road stuff. And I really want to see back some more from them, because they are all on the way to disappear. If you not shorten yourself your Sen, actually you not have a Sen. So that means you have the Obao MT2, you have the Serpent, who's not a really monster truck for me, because how I say, no main gear in the middle. You have the eRevo, but the eRevo is high in price and you have to change many things. You have to buy 4 real tires, real steering servo and a better motor in there. So it's high in the price. The T-Magic is too short and still have some issue with transmissions. HPI is back in the game, but mess something to beef it up. I want to have more choice in 1/8 kil monster truck. It's that wise because many new drivers prefer to get some truggies and muggies because they are way easier to drive. Muggies and truggies are easy to drive. They are flat on the ground, LCG. I understand that. But I hope that all those young drivers will understand that we older guys are still freak for monster truck, and I hope they will try it and will discover why we old monster truck freaks prefer monster trucks to truggies. I want to share your opinion. I want to see your comments, guy. What did you love at this HPI? What did you hate on it? In which point did you disagree with me? How I say I love it. It really needs just a few points of adjustment to be a real pretender to the harder basher like the Arma V5 and like Techno Truggies or something that's really tough stuff. And I know many of you hate the Tractor Sledge, but I love it. We have some fancy stuff at the chassis, but this truck has the toughest axle I ever had on an RC from this size and weight. And I hope that the other brand will catch up and that we're gonna see some really main movement from all brands to do some new monster truck and new muggies and all that stuff, because all prices are going to the top. Back in the time, such a monster truck cost us in Europe 550 to 600 euros. Now we are laying by 850 to 950, but we still have no more. It's not better, it's not faster, it's not to drive longer. The spare parts are not down in price, but so we still buy it because we are still RC freaks. So guys, I lose myself because when I begin the video I tell you we're gonna not just talk about the HPI 7 FLUX, and I obviously miss that we just talk about that beast. So I have only one choice, make other videos about tires. We have here the new Arma Proline tires. I want to speak about it, the Sledge. I want to talk about the USA 1 after a few tests. How say, talk about the MT Plus, about the MT2 with some special project here as buggy. And I want to show you, I get from here I have in France a brand is Elsace RC Body. This is my country. This is guys who are near of me. They make reinforced bodies, so they make an outcast body fits on an X-Max because it looks nice. This outcast body is also longer for those like me who find that the outcast body is too short regarding the wheelbase from the truck, so they make it longer. They make a Jeep body for X-Max and something special, a Beetle body. Remember, I have done the nuclear bug. It was a 1/6 kil FG1 6 kil body made from PVC. I fit it on my X-Max. It not last really long. After 20-30 runs, the body was destroyed, but it was funny. It's really looked like the Tamiya Monster Beetle back in the time. I really like that. I find but I find again one from this body. I buy it on eBay, I send it to them, and they make us a mold from there, and they modified the back from the truck, so we're gonna be able to fit it easy with the lock system at the Traxxas X-Max. The version without the lock system already fits at the Arma 1/5 scale series. The Outcast just fits perfectly on at the Kraton because the long wheelbase looks a little bit different, but it's possible to put it on. I have to do these videos for you to show you how this body looks on the trucks, because like anytime I have tons of idea and not enough time to show you all I have done with that stuff. I reduced my own collection. I had 50 cars myself, all just ready to drive. Put battery in, plug the radio on and go drive. I go down to 25. Normally I have only 25. 1, 2, 3. This is not mine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 50, 60, 70, 80. I have one there. I have the Arma 90, the Arma 1/5 scale, and this small buggy. Yeah, I have 20. Oh, right, 20, 1/8 scale, 1/5 scale, and I have about 9 small scales. To get more time to make my other projects. Guys, see you soon with that truck on a run. I know how it performs because I had 10 of them. Even if it looks different, it will be maybe the same. The one thing gonna be different, the layout, because they really put all the weight more down. So I'm gonna see if we really feel a difference between this new chassis and the old one. And I'm gonna try to not explode my tire, because even if I not especially love the design, I surely gonna like how they perform at the terrain. And we're gonna compare to the MT2, to the Sen GSTE, and to the E-Revo, because these are my 4 favorite monster trucks. Until Losi does something better, until Arma brings out a new monster truck, and or any other brand, because there are many new brands on the market, like KK Pit, like Hongnor was bought by HSP, so it's now HNR, but the stuff is for the moment not available out from China. So I hope that that new brand gonna make us new monster truck. I also hope that Techno RC gonna make us a big monster truck in 380. Joshua surely not want to do it. Tamiya also not. Team Esso has done a short one. I don't know if they want to do a Team Esso MT8 XL version, because I don't want a short one, I want a long one. Remember me a song, I don't want a short zig, man. Guys, have a nice day. I not promise you to come soon with all the video about the updates from the stuff I buy here, but I will try it. A special hi to 6-shooter like anytime in Memphis. I hope you have a nice weather and that you are not at home at your TV looking this video. I hope you are driving outside, bashing, and make us the videos, because take a look, he has a channel. 6-shooter of Memphis has his own channel for RC, and he drives those E3XLs, Arma Nero. He has still one, Big Rock. He has also the Arma 1/5 scale. And I also missed the time to go look at your videos, but I want to try it. Bye guys.